I first married in 1958. He was handsome and looked like Tab Hunter, and none of you even have any idea who he was. He was called to ministry. And we had 23 amazing years. The Lord gave us 2 little boys, and we got to start a new church. We went back to Bible college. I'm not a country western fan, but one Mother's Day my kids gave me, I'm the happiest girl in the whole USA, because that's who I was. And then Christmas of 1980, I woke up to an empty bedroom that I soon would find out was going to be forever. And my best friend was gone. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. To say I was devastated, remember I've been a good girl all my life. I've been teaching Sunday school. So how could something like that happen to my sons and to me? He was amazingly there, the Lord was. And a general superintendent's wife that had been my very precious friend through the years, I had called her immediately and said, he's gone. And she gave me encouragement, and she said, I have 3 things. She was a great speaker. Always, preachers think in 3s. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Number 1, this isn't your fault. And because you are noisy, she didn't say that. But because you're a leader, there will be all kinds of people who think they have this thing figured out and they don't know what you're talking about. I've walked this road with you. Number 2, stay put. Everybody, the other preachers and stuff would say, now get out of the way, so that she said, you go right back to that church that you and your husband started from scratch in the old American bingo hall where you could get intoxicated singing, what a friend we have in Jesus, because of the big hoedown they had in there the night before. Both chins up and go back and show them that they can trust God. And then the most important thing she said to me was, Mona, walk this with Jesus without any detours. And the best days of your ministry are ahead. And I just sobbed. Oh, Mrs. Williamson, I can never speak again. I mean, it looks like everything I ever taught isn't true now. And I've said this to so many people because so many women who've gone through a heartache, even some pastors' wives, wanders around, and the temptations are out there. You feel so rejected, betrayed, that if somebody comes along to fulfill all those needs and remind you how beautiful you are, it's real easy to slip that direction and ruin your life and your kids. Walk this one with Jesus without a detour. Those words kept coming back to me over and over. And when it's over, you're going to have a new song to sing. So, over the next 4 years, he was enough. And again, I'll tell you a little more, but 4 years later, I married another preacher. My kid said, Mom, preachers are so poor. Can't you fall in love with somebody that makes a little money? I'm sorry, but do we have one of those bottles of water over here, or are they somewhere else? I'm going to need, if somebody could...
There's one in the window that Sandy told me that's was the last one from the pack.
Oh, thank you. Here, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so dry tonight. This is not even nice. You're not supposed to do this. Here we got arthritis in your hands. I'm determined. Aha, excuse me, just a second. I married Claire Kern in 1984. He was 15 years older than I. He brought me 3 beautiful children. So my 2 boys suddenly were 5 in a blended family. And I moved from Seattle to Grangeville, Idaho. You cannot do that. There were not even any golden arches. When I would go back to Seattle, my Nordstrom card rang in my purse as soon as we hit Snow Point. Wonderful 4.5 years in Wenatchee, and then he and I moved to I mean, in Grangeville. We spent then the rest of our ministry in Wenatchee, Washington, and the Lord was so good to me. It was a healing place. That's where I had opportunity to be the district women's ministries director for 9 years, and the school system was good to me, and I got to be Mary Poppins and teach elementary music, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful place for me. And then he began to have very severe dementia, and in 1980 we moved to Nampa. I'll tell you a little more about that tomorrow morning too. But we moved here in 2000, and at that point it was dementia and cancer and heart. And I lost him in 2001. It was a different kind of loss. It was an easier loss than betrayal and divorce. Okay. Well, no loss is easy. So there I was again, adjusting. I knew it was time for me to write, so I went to get all my little meals. I was going to eat healthy and walk it with Jesus, and then sometime down the way I went to Walmart to buy milk, and there was Jerry Dahlquist. I'd known Jerry Dahlquist and was in love with him for 10 minutes in 1953. And don't go to Walmart. He said it was because he was on clearance. And I said, I don't care if you're on clearance, just so you're non-refundable or non-returnable. And that's another whole wonderful story. So I was married, I was a Van Brink for 23 years plus, and I was at Kern close to 20. And this summer I will have been a Dahlquist for 10 years, won't we? Because Jerry and I ran off and got married when Rashenda and Britt were getting married. And the whole world knew about them, and we were off and married. So, now, my 2 little boys, I want you to know I've been married a lot, but they've been long-term. That's pretty crazy. Can't believe I was the least likely lady on the earth to be married more than once. And so Jerry's friends go around saying, and he just says, never mind, never mind. But now, that combined 3 families that we have, with the greatest joy in our lives except for Jesus and each other, Jerry's family added 7 new great-grandbabies last year. And this is not a preacher exaggeration. That take our number to 84 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. You should see my refrigerator. I should have brought a picture. I have no kids, just grandkids, and babies are just plastered. And Jerry's are more than half. 50 some of them are just Dahlquists. And my Van Brinks are up here, and the Kerns are down here. And my oldest son was just home, and he said, Mom, where are the kids? And I said, if you want to see the kids, go in the study. They're all over there, but there's no room on the refrigerator. I'm sorry. He said, you know, that's sort of the back room. And I said, I'm sorry. That's just what has happened here. In 10 years, we have been to 22 either high school or college graduations or weddings of our grandchildren. 2 weddings, 2 graduations coming up this summer. So on the 25th, we go down to see his last granddaughter and that family graduate from Cal Baptist. I go to Wisconsin to a wedding. There's a wedding here. Savannah's brother's getting married. So it's just in one graduation I can't get to. Now, I've always loved coordinating weddings as a pastor's wife. That was one of my most fun jobs. But now, Jerry and I are graduation experts. We could tell you when to walk in, how to walk in, what songs. We could give you any graduation speech that's ever been done. And last year, it was so fun because he got to be the best man for his grandson. So Papa, and it was just wonderful. Tyler is 6'4.5", and that big around, as were his other 3 attendants, and then there's Papa. He was about 5'10", and he's not fat, but he's certainly not that big around. And they had to wear toms. Those little cameras. I thought Papa would just die. It was the longest ceremony. It was a beautiful, wonderful spiritual. He washed her feet during the wedding, and I watched Papa just standing. My son that is in musical theater and now is musical director for all of Royal Caribbean things, their big shows and things. And he took us on the Allure. That's the biggest ship in the world.
Wow.
And he called and said, "Can you meet me in Barcelona?" And I said, "Is it near, Bellingham? Where's Barcelona?" For 10 days on the Mediterranean. And as a private contractor, he really can't get those deals. But now he's just been moved up to a spot that I'm hoping he's going to call and say, "Guess what? That means I can take you more." It's a very long, miraculous story in the Lord, and again, I'll mention him more tomorrow. But among our 84, what I'm here to tell you, and I know it seems unbelievable, you should just see the the birthdays on every month. And we don't send presents anymore, but phone calls and cards and that, except for the little ones. And we have landed just down the street. In that 84, we have success. And there are some that have amazing jobs and blessings and health and happy marriages and a Christian service. But I also have to tell you that if you put that many people together, this mom and dad and grandma and grandpa have unemployment, crippling health issues, heartbreaking experiences, divorce, loss, those that have chosen lifestyles that break our heart, and a lot of the same unknowns that many of you in this room. I told you, we used to think as long as you just served Jesus and grew up, everything was going to be wonderful and all your family were just going to serve Jesus. We're in a different world. In our society today, even in every Christian home, somewhere along the line, we're going to face things that we didn't know existed in the 50s. And it comes into all of our households because. So, at this moment in my own life, there are some issues that appear to have no short-term or even long-term resolutions. Know anything about some of those? And that's painful. So, how we wish it could all be different. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought, "Oh, I wish that could be different for them. I wish it could be different for me." Years ago, before Van left, that was my first husband, he gave me a promise from Jeremiah that I thought he was giving me for my children, for, I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord. And they're plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you a future and a hope. So, if that's true, and we are being firmly grounded, we've accepted him, we have surrendered to him, we've spent our life trying to have loving relationships with other people. We're trying to go deeper with him. So, when those things came smashing across our life, that morning in 1980 when I woke up to that whole bedroom empty and the house empty and all that, you just feel like everything that has ever been solid in your life is shaking. And questionable new issues appear. What do we do with everything we've been taught this weekend? And you already knew. Oh, I know, we can put on a happy face. Keep chins up, Or we can go to Disneyland and wish upon a star. Wish upon a star, I love it. Makes no difference where you are. We can keep a positive thought. We can ride a merry-go-round. Those aren't bad ideas. I mean, I believe in happy faces. Put on a happy face. You know that song. And I try to keep my chins from sagging. He said I have an idea, that I must raise my eyebrows, and so I probably go around with eyebrows up and both chins. I can spend days in Disneyland, and wishes and dreams are terrific. I believe in them. Dreams and aspirations and good accomplishments, that's healthy. And it's necessary if we don't confuse that with lasting hope. Because, listen to me, the Lord gave me this recently. Hope, real hope, is more than just a wish. That's good, isn't it? Real hope is more than a wish. Across the years of my generation, at Christmas, the kids looked through the wish book. Anybody here know what that was? It was a Sears catalog, yeah. Now the wish book is on the internet, on their phone, in their hand. Just for fun, we wish on the first star. First star, I said tonight, make a wish, you know. We throw coins in the wishing well. Jerry and I got to throw coins in the fountain when we were in the real place, you know, on that trip. We blow out candles on our birthday cake and make a wish. When we get the longest side of the wishbone, never do that, we make a wish. When a genie appears out of a bottle, anybody ever had that happen? I heard you need to be careful though when that happens, because I heard about a lady and a genie went poof, and gave her 3 wishes. And she said, oh, first she thought, I want the most